This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis. It's the Morning Majlis.
Morning, everybody. We're talking about accessibility books, and that's because the Al Manal Forum, simply Easy Read and Disability, is set to take place tomorrow. It's a virtual event held by the Sharjah City for Humanitarian Services. And we're happy to have here with us in the studio to talk all things accessibility books and easy reading, Mohammed Al Nabulsi, the general coordinator of this forum. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Let's start with what this event entails. What is this forum all about?
Al Manal Forum, simply Easy Read and Disability, is part of our events, main events in SCHS. We are in SCHS, Sharjah City for Humanitarian Services. We are having this event every 3 years, actually. Every time we pick a topic related to culture or media, and we are talking about this topic and related to disability as well. So this year we are talking about Easy Read. Easy Read is totally a new topic. So this event will take place during the coming 2 days, the 25th and the 26th of May.
And what is easy reading? Can you take us through that?
When you go to the bank and when you want to apply for a loan, or you want to start a new account, you sign a lot of documents with a small font and you don't understand what is it.
Right.
You know the feeling that what I'm doing here.
All of us go through that.
So this is exactly the feelings of people or persons with intellectual disabilities and learning difficulties when they read our very complicated documents. So Easy Read is a tool to make the knowledge accessible for persons with intellectual disabilities by using plain language and very simple sentences. And we are using also pictures to explain the meaning of the paragraph or what is the goal from this paragraph. So it's a way to make the knowledge accessible for persons with disabilities.
And are you targeting a specific category with people with learning disabilities?
You mean the Easy Read or the event?
The Easy Read.
The Easy Read, yes. We are talking about persons with intellectual disability, and we are talking about persons with learning difficulties, specifically dyslexia.
Yeah, dyslexia.
Dyslexia, yeah. And also, if we want to extend the target, we are talking about sometimes who is having difficulties with reading and writing skills, and who is learning the new language, for example. It's kind of the target in a way, but it's indirect target.
Can you elaborate on the dyslexia thing, because we've spoken about it extensively off the air? If you could tell everybody what it's like reading a complicated document as someone with dyslexia, what's that experience like?
Well, it's really difficult for
I think we have when we read, I think that's what it feels like. You have it all aligned in front of you, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But with people with dyslexia, it's like it's all over the place, right?
Well, why
kind of like this?
Yeah, it's kind of. But actually, I cannot explain exactly what is it because it's happening in his brain, and I cannot really explain what is happening there.
Right.
But there is a difficulty, and we are doing our best actually to empower them to be able to read the whole documents as much as they can, to understand their rights, to understand what they have to do, what they don't have to do, to know everything around them. Because this is their right.
Absolutely is. And can you tell us more about the activities of the forum?
We have different kind of activities. When we started the thinking about this event, we realized that we have a lack of knowledge, a lack of skills, a lack of the availability of Easy Read or accessible books for everyone. So we solved the Easy Read the skills with the workshops, which will happen tomorrow. We have 3 workshops, one about Easy Read, one about inclusive books, and one about picture books. The second day, we are talking about we have the forum itself, 26th.
Yeah.
We have a lot of expertise from different countries around the world. So they will talk about their experience, and we will put some recommendations, and we will have a new Arabic criteria for Easy Read, which wasn't available actually before. So we are doing a lot of things during these 2 days.
And what are the main questions and issues that will be addressed at the forum?
What kind of questions do you have about Easy Read?
Oh,
So many
so
questions.
many. Accessible books, what are they anyway?
Well, the accessible books is Easy Read is part of the accessible books. The
Can you
accessible
just tell
books-
us about
yes.
that exactly?
Accessible books, that any kind of books will be accessible for persons with disabilities, different disabilities.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when we are talking about a braille, when we talk about audiobooks, when we talk about e-books, for example, or sometimes when we are using the videos with the sign language for deaf people.
Right.
All of these kind of things are accessible books. Easy Read is part of it. So accessible book is like any kind of book is using any kind of assistive technology to make the book accessible for persons with
Yes.
disabilities. So this is the difference between accessible books and Easy Read.
Yeah, and this event is organized by the Sharjah City for Humanitarian Services, and we've seen throughout the years a lot of initiatives here in the Emirate of Sharjah to promote accessibility and help people with learning difficulties. Can you elaborate on the role that the government here plays in enhancing those aspects?
Well, I think the government needs to force the government to make the government departments to make all the documents accessible for persons with disabilities, because the main target who is using the government services are persons with disabilities. They need to understand their rights. They need to understand what they are doing, what they have to do, what will happen if they do something wrong. They need to understand that. Otherwise, that will be complicated for them.
Right.
So this is the main thing what we are trying to do right now. The first thing that we need to build the capacity in our society. We need to have the skills, and we need to be able to create Easy Read documents, and then we will deal with the government how we can put kind of a law or something like that can force the departments and the companies to do accessible documents for persons with disabilities.
So who is the target group that should participate in this and can participate in this virtual event? Because it is online. So how can they, can you take us through the registration process, and who really is the target audience?
The target is everyone in general. Has this kind of curiosity about reading and accessible books.
Okay.
But we are talking about writers, artists, we are talking about workers with persons with disabilities, we are talking about publishers as well. It's really important to everyone will to attend to this event. It's really easy to register. Actually, you just go to our website www.schs.ae, and you can
schs.ae.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Right.
So you go to our website, as simple as that, and you enter to the event. You will make the registration,
Okay.
and we will deal.
And it's going to be tomorrow and the day after tomorrow.
Yes,
25th
and
26th.
you have the right actually to choose what kind of event you want, like one workshop, the whole workshops. You
Nice.
want to attend to the forum, or you want to just attend to the workshops. It's up to you.
And it's free of charge?
It's a free of charge. We have fees, very small fees for the certificate if you want it.
Yeah.
Any set timings for the forum?
The forum will be on the 26th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m.
Okay.
The workshops, we have 3 workshops, and each workshop has different time. We will start from 10 a.m. also till 7 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible that
Spectacular.
you're involved in making these documents easier for. I think everybody needs that. I
Right.
think a lot of
In a
times
way,
yes.
these
sometimes.
contracts or documents, a lot of people complain about
Right.
the language and how convoluted it can get.
And maybe for something like you don't really understand the topic. For example, for me, the scientific thing, that it's really complicated
Yeah,
for me.
all these
I
words.
need easy read.
So I hope they make Easy Read for me as well, for everybody really.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, do you think we're moving in a good direction right now? I know you're having this event. It should have a really good impact on our community and society and also the government institutions. Do you think overall we're heading in a good direction when it comes to promoting accessibility and making sure that everybody...
Definitely.
Yeah.
We are doing our best actually in UAE in general and in the world in general. The point is, we are developing our life. Our lifestyle is developing. So we will never deliver to the end.
Yeah.
So every time we will feel like, oh, okay, we need more. Okay, we need a better situation. We need to develop something new for them. We realize that there is another problem with different kind of disabilities. So we have this. We need to develop our tools as much as we live. For example, there is kind of conversation between blind people when we talk about Braille now, for example, because Braille is really complicated when you do Braille books because it has a very big size, for example, and you need to learn the language. It's really complicated, and not all of the blinds they know or they can read the Braille, but audiobooks is really easy for them, and they have everything on their phones. So some of the blind people, they say like, okay, we need the Braille because it's part of our identity. Some of them, they say like, we need it because it's our tool. What if we don't have the audio books anymore? Or what if we have a problem with our phones? It's like, complicated, but we need to work on that just to understand what is the situation, and we need to reach to the best situation for persons with disabilities, to empower them as much as we can, and to make them independent, and they can take their place in the community.
Absolutely. Well, it's really wonderful having you here to talk about this very important topic.
Thank you.
Yes.
And if you want more information on attending the Al Manal Forum, simply Easy Read and Disability, to learn more about accessibility overall from the experts, head over to schs.ae. That is schs.ae. All the registration information will be on the front page for this virtual event taking place tomorrow and after tomorrow as well. Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you,
so
Ahmed.
much,
Thank you,
Mohammed.
Rania.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Stay tuned to Pulse 95, because up next we'll talk about the Hope Probe, the future of space science in the UAE, and much more right here on Pulse 95.
This is Pulse 95. Pulse 95. It's the Morning Majlis. It's the Morning Majlis.
Yes, we continue the discussions on the 12th Sharjah Children's Reading Festival. We just can't get enough of it because of the limitless and the endless amount and number of activities, workshops, and events that are taking place right now at the festival. In the past couple of days, we've seen a lot of cooking shows. We've seen a lot of science shows or workshops, and also book reading from Her Excellency Sheikh Abudur Al Qasimi as well, with the launch of her new book, World Book Capital. That is very exciting over there. But the 12th edition of the festival, which has expanded its outreach this year across several emirates in the UAE, it also hosted Egyptian novelist Tayyib Adib and also Claudia Rueda, a Colombian picture book author and illustrator, at a panel discussion at the Al Safa Art and Design Library in the neighboring Emirates as part of its cultural programming agenda. And this panel discussion is titled Bringing Stories to Life, and it was moderated by Lamia Tawfiq. It basically explores the critical components required to create well-written and memorable characters in children's books, while also incorporating a strong moral or message in the story. And it describes illustrations as the heartbeat that brings stories to life in children's books. And the author Claudia Reda says, images and characters, they have a key role in storytelling as they enhance a child's perception of the story. So building characters in children's books is definitely a complex process, and authors must give due thought to the nature and type of characters to be introduced to communicate their messages and ideas in an efficient manner. So it's really not an easy process. How to find creative characters and ideas to attract children to that book and to that story and to keep them engaged.
It's definitely tricky. And I think as someone who read books as a child, you're looking for someone you can relate to, someone who's real.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in children's fiction, you come across these like one-dimensional, shallow caricatures of what the author thinks children act like. So sometimes, for instance, if they're making a child protagonist, they make them a little too cutesy. Hey, mommy, hey, daddy, and they're doing baby talk the whole time, and they're trying to be
That's
cute.
true.
It's forced. That's not what a real person does. So you got to take account of that. Sometimes they make the kids, like, again, kids are very intelligent. You got to respect your readers. You got to respect their intelligence. So when you're creating characters, they have to speak to an element of truth, and that's what they touched upon in the session. But it's definitely a tricky topic. A lot of people get it wrong, I feel.
But since you mentioned fiction, it has nothing to do with this, but like, is any fictional story really fictional? That's the thing.
Yeah.
For me, the only thing that's kind of fictional, maybe, it's kind of like sci-fi or something like that. But like a fictional story, to me, it has so much nonfiction in it that I don't feel like it is fiction.
That's an interesting thought. So you're not
like any story that they consider fiction, like an author considers fiction, it could be a real story.
Yeah.
It could be a real life story. We just don't know it.
And I think
that the author had never heard of it before, personally, right? So I feel like you can definitely relate to every fictional story as well.
You're blowing my mind here because, of course, there are billions of us on this planet, and whatever story you tell, it's happened to somebody.
Definitely, yeah.
I think that's the appeal of fiction, too. You read something like this, and it feels real. Like, doesn't matter if the character seem made up.
Yeah.
This is human nature, human psychology.
Something in that story has happened somewhere.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so compelling.
Exactly.
And relatable.
But the thing is, it's how to draw the reader and keep them engaged, especially as children. Because as children, we just tend to be like, disconnected quickly. We get disconnected quickly and we get distracted quickly, especially as children. I mean, as adults, it's even worse. But as children, you have to keep them going with the story.
It's not like, hey, I'm a baker, I'm moving to a new neighborhood, I gotta sell bread for everybody every morning. Like, everybody needs you to be the baker in the neighborhood. I'm just making a comparison here.
Right.
Whereas when you're making fiction or art, you're competing with every piece of music out there, every YouTube video out there, everything on TikTok.
Definitely.
You gotta make something that stands out completely.
Stands out, exactly.
And kids, they know what's good and what isn't, and they will gravitate towards it. If you don't write a compelling enough story, they will find it on TikTok. So you better step up.
And they're so much into audiobooks nowadays. They forgot the traditional books. So
Absolutely.
How to keep them or get them back on that road, let them hold an actual book and actually engage in it and keep them engaged throughout the whole book to finish it. That is so difficult nowadays, especially with YouTube, as you just said, TikTok, YouTube, audiobooks, all of that.
You're competing against everything out there. Big
competition, yeah. Actually, Rueda, she remarked that she prefers to create animal characters because they are fun and they hold the interest of young kids. Simple and clear profile pictures for protagonist characters, they help kindle a bond with children who are more likely to understand and accept what it says, according to Reda. Now, speaking of the session also, the other author, Tayyib Adib, said that vibrant illustrations and relatable characters, just like you mentioned, Ahmed, they play a key role in nurturing creativity and imagination. Stories are therefore an important educational tool whose impact is intensified when adapted to the screen as a series or a film as well. He also pointed out that as children love adventures and they enjoy exploring new ideas, it is definitely essential to fulfill their ambitions through stories. So the lack of appropriate illustrations may weaken the appeal of a book. Therefore, he's calling on authors to avoid the excessive use of negative characterization in children's books.
Yeah, that's definitely something they.
So it definitely needs careful consideration and planning.
Especially with regards to things like diversity that's been discussed at the Sharjah Children's Reading Festival. The world you're drawing and the illustrations, they got to reflect the real world we're in, and it's got to be something that resonates with the diversity, the very different types of people
and
that
resonates
exist.
with the era that we're in right now, because
Absolutely.
children back then are not like the children right now. Definitely. The interests, they have changed, definitely. The outlook of children on life in general, nowadays it looks totally different than us or the past generations.
And whatever
so
you
they
do,
have to keep that in mind as well.
They certainly do. And whatever you end up doing, it's going to have a profound effect on them. Like if you're creating an aspirational character like a Disney princess, and a child grows up with that image in mind, they may feel worse about themselves if they don't look like that or embody those characteristics. So all those choices
Stay
are
away
complex.
from that stuff. Yeah.
Well, if you'd like to learn more about these topics and discussions, they're always held at the Sharjah Children's Reading Festival. It's taking place at the Expo Center, Sharjah, every day from 4 p.m. onwards, and on Saturdays at 10 a.m. onwards. And the big theme here is imagination. So if you'd like to find out more about this, head over to the Sharjah Children's Reading Festival website at scrf.ae and find out how you could register and attend for free. And stay tuned to Pulse 95. We've got more discussions lined up on today's program. Up next, we've got our sports discussions right here on The Morning Majlis.
If you liked this episode of The Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.
Pulse.